Hi, my name is Brad Fisher. I specialize in studying wealth cycles and showing people how to come out on the winning side of great wealth transfers. I'm a financial educator, speaker, and soon-to-be author. I truly believe and teach that applied knowledge with action is the key to success, and success is the key to one's freedom. Robert Kiyosaki was recently quoted saying, "Without financial education, your money flows to those who profit most from your financial ignorance." Hosea 4:6 says, "My people will perish for a lack of knowledge." I realized quickly at a very young age that if I was going to win, my knowledge would have to set me apart from the competition. Applied knowledge with action is absolute power. As I've been studying our global economy and the situation before us, I have a very strong urgency on my heart to share a very time-sensitive message to as many people as possible before the great transition of wealth takes place. A lot of people will freely share their opinion on the subject that I touch on today. However, I'm going to share with you quickly a few of the cold hard facts of 3 of the major issues that are coming down the pipe whether we like it or not. In a later session, I will also discuss how you can hedge and protect yourself from this transition, and also most importantly, how to position yourself to benefit from what I believe will be one of the largest transfers of wealth in the history of mankind. Let's start at the beginning. Why are we in this so-called recession or depression in the first place? Well, way too many people bought and built homes that should have had them in the very first place. The banks and the people were greedy. Basically, if you could fog a mirror, you received a mortgage. I was recently told of a lady that made $60,000 a year and had a mortgage on 4 houses, and another who made about $60,000 a year and had been approved for about a $750,000 mortgage. These loans were obscure and outrageous. Of course, it was only a matter of time before this house of cards fell to the floor. The real estate boom came to a screeching halt as mortgages began to mature and many people could not afford new mortgages or keep up with the payments. See, even if a person was financially stable and could afford their payments, but their mortgage was worth more than the value of their home, they could simply hand in their keys to the banks and walk away, because in the US they had what was called non-recourse loans, which means that they could not come after you personally in the event that you walked away from your mortgage payments. In Canada, they have recourse loans, which means that they can come after you personally for the amount outstanding on the mortgage. Because of this event, not only did we see a drastic drop in real estate prices over all of America, but the markets dropped on average 30 to 40%, according to the S&P 500. And many people watched their portfolios diminish. A variety of large banks and pension funds that many thought were guaranteed disappeared. What frightens me now is how most people think that we are through this recession, and how some talk about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I honestly prefer to be an optimistic, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but what I just spoke about is nothing compared to what's upon the horizon. In fact, the very worst is yet to come. This is not my opinion, rather it's a fact. If we look back throughout history, the most amount of people wiped out financially in the shortest amount of time were through depression and recessionary periods, mainly because of a lack of education. These people typically were the ones that had large amounts of debts and owned paper assets, such as stocks, mutual funds, pensions, etc. Assets that are driven by the rest of the world's either fear or confidence. Now, before you get depressed, I have good news. The most amount of wealth accumulated in the shortest period of time also comes from recessions and depressions. The most amount of millionaires ever made were through the 30s. Remember, money doesn't disappear, it simply transfers from one person to the next. One just needs to be educated on how to position themselves to be on the winning side of the cycle.